Police are investigating a shooting that happened following another shooting, which left 9 teens injured at a prom after party. KLTV7's Mariela Gonzalez has the details and spoke with a Jasper resident about how they feel when it comes to these 2 incidents.
Investigators with the Jasper Police Department are working to learn more details into a shooting that occurred Sunday morning. An initial report said a home and vehicle on Belleville Loop were struck by gunfire. Nobody was injured in the shooting inside the city limits. Police said they suspect this was the result of 2 or more vehicles exchanging gunfire as they chased each other on Belleville Loop. Police said they are also working to determine if the incident is related to the prom after party shooting that occurred on County Road 263 after midnight on Sunday.
In their beautiful outfits, their memories, their pictures, it was hard.
Jasper resident Lynn Griffin says she saw Jasper High School students arrive at their prom venue and was sad it turned into a tragic weekend.
These kids are part of our community. They're good kids. And who would drive by and do something like that?
But Griffin believes local authorities will get to the bottom of both shooting incidents.
But I know they will not let it die.
Persons of interest have been identified by officials, but no arrests have been made. New information regarding the shooting at the after-prom party has not yet been released by the Jasper County Sheriff's Office. Mariela Gonzalez, KLTV 7 News.
Now, if you have any information about either of these shootings, contact the Jasper County Sheriff's Office or Police Department.